Hello and welcome. Hopefully everything is working here. Looks like we have sound, which is a good start. It's been a little while since I've streamed, but as I managed to get my hands on an early copy of the Utopia DLC for Stellaris, I thought that I would give it a go. I've actually had it for a couple of days, but I've been busy recording EU4 Mandate of Heaven. So this is my first actual chance to get to play Stellaris Utopia. I played a lot of Stellaris when it first came out. In fact, I played a fair bit of Stellaris before it came out because I played the sort of pre-release press version. And once I got to that mid-game point, it got a little bit boring. And I don't know, I just kind of thought that it had potential, but it needed some work, so I left it be for a while. And there have been a couple of patches and minor DLCs and things since then, but I never really went back to it until about a month ago, when some modders made Star Trek New Horizons, which is a fantastic little mod. It's a brilliant addition to Stellaris. Basically, it's a Star Trek total conversion mod, which is really good. Although that itself is in beta, so it's still got some work to go. And of course, it isn't compatible with Utopia, so they're going to have to do that all over again. Hello there, Tibor. How are you doing? And Susika, hello. Welcome to the stream. So I've turned the tutorials back on because, one, I haven't really played the vanilla game of this in like forever, and secondly, apparently a lot of the major base game mechanics have changed, not only with Utopia, but also with the Banks patch, which also drops on the same day, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow's the release day, 3 PM Central European time, I believe. So let's go ahead and jump in and start a new game. Hopefully the game volume is okay and you can hear the audio over the music. We're just going to go and play as... Oh, you'll notice one thing that's changed now. The ship colours. The ship colours actually changed based on the colour of your flag, which is a nice little thing there. Let's just go for the United Nations of Earth. I don't really want to mess around too much with different races. I just basically want to jump in. Hello, Ajax. Susika, yeah, I probably should turn up the difficulty, but the problem is I haven't played it in so long anyway. This is unlikely to be a full playthrough, so I just really want to get through and have a look and see what's changed. Once I work those things out, then I'll consider going in and like ramping the difficulty level up. One thing I'm just going to do before I start that actually is I'm just going to turn the volume down slightly myself, because I'm having to sort of shout over the game. So should be okay for you. Right, okay, so new game. We'll go United Nations of Earth and we will jump in. We'll leave everything probably on automatic. Empire placement in clusters. Advanced neighbours is off. Should that be on? Iron Man mode is off. That's the only reason it's not eligible for achievements, isn't it? Yeah. Endgame crises. Yep, that seems fine. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm not bothered about Iron Man mode. Bear in mind, of course, this is a sort of pre-release press version, so things that you see in this may be different to what you see in the finished thing. Not noticing too much has changed on the UI. That button there seems to be new. What's that? Well, let me click it anyway. So this is just oomph. So we'll go and put the full tutorial on for now.
Have my full support. Building a star empire can be a daunting task. To help get
right, so situation log. So what's this button here? Oh, it's a music player. They've added the music player now. Maybe that was there before. I don't recognise that.
The situation log.
So, yeah, situation log hasn't changed. So, first of all, we have ourselves a science ship. Yeah, we don't need to know about that. We've got a scientist on board. Are all of the planets in our system researched? No, they are not. So, we should be able to... This would be a button that used to say just survey the entire system. Control, click, survey a single object, click to survey an entire system. So we want to survey this system. You know, it's easier if you just move out to the to this view and go science ship and survey system. That's that done, that's fine. Hey Githian, how are you doing? We've got our construction ship, we've got our fleet.
Fleets are used to protect.
Yeah, we know about the fleets. They're not going to have changed too much. We're well below our naval capacity, so we could go ahead and get another ship, which is not a bad idea.
And the capital of our empire. The planet's summary.
Now, this is one thing I was interested in because food has changed. How many pops are living on it, how much food it produces. We can also see the planet suffering from unrest. So, we produce 11.2 food and consume 8 on the planet.
We see a visual representation of this planet's surface, divided into tiles.
Okay, don't need that. So, it still looks like planets are providing food. Hey there, Hung Hung, how are you doing? But I also noticed now that we've got some tiles that actually provide multiple different science. So great, so a science lab now doesn't just focus on one particular research branch, which is nice. We've got this thing here, which is Unity. Planetary Administration, Happiness, Beacon of Liberty. Unity is used to unlock new traditions. We can increase our output by building autochthon monuments or other Unity buildings. Okay, so what was this thing that I was reading about food now being a global resource? It is. Food is there. Interesting. So food is now a global resource, or an empire-wide resource, I should say, because we're in space. Okay, fair enough. Well, we've got some text that we need to research. Let's move some windows across a bit. Well, yeah, we could know about our own system's planets, but there again, you don't know about them until you've researched them, so it does kind of make sense. Let's go ahead then and just go to our spaceport. So that hasn't really changed. We'll just go ahead and get ourselves a couple of extra corvettes, and we'll start working on our tech. So this shouldn't have changed too much. So we'll start with physics. Physics lab can be useful. Solar panel network. We don't really have the slots to build those. So let's go for the, well, the extra survey speed will be useful for us. Over here, extra naval capacity. Reduced growth time would be very useful. Now, some of these things do unlock other techs down the line. But yeah, quicker growth time. And over here, we can get fusion missiles, engineering facilities, corvette assembly yards, mineral storage capacity, but it's going to be a while before we hit that. So let's go ahead and just work on the quicker one. So we're going to start off by doing a little bit of survey. So I will speed the game up until we get stuff done. Yeah, we understand warp travel, so that's fine. The main reason I've turned the tutorials back on is because I want to see if there's anything that has actually changed in the tutorial, and if the tutorial covers that. I'm not terribly convinced that it will, but we'll certainly have a look.
May already have noticed, habitable planets are divided into a number of surface tiles. Tiles can
let's just pause that up. Our own already has a few buildings. Yeah, there's nothing new about that. Found an anomaly. Spaceport of Earth has finished its construction queue. No risk of failure, so we'll go ahead and research that. Let's go ahead and... I think we're just going to turn the tutorials off, to be honest. Because I don't think there's anything new that's going to come up in that. So let's go ahead and get... Just bugger off. Oh, it's because I'm still here. There we go. Bugger off. Right. Okay, let's try that again. Does the amount of food affect the reproduction rate of pops? Good question. So let's go ahead and have a look at the planet summary here. So we produce 11.2 food and consume 8 on this planet. Food represents various nutrients and to sustain and grow pops. Surplus food will be stockpiled according to the food stockpile policy and contributes to pop growth if the stockpile is full. So yeah, food definitely does still contribute to growth. But I guess it's, you don't have to have, you're not going to have one planet that's starving and another planet that has a major food surplus. So if you've got a food surplus, it will be across all of your planets. And if you don't have enough food, your entire empire will be starving. So you should be able to grow your individual planets more evenly, which will be really good for new planets. If you've got one planet producing a ton of surplus food, and you're already at, because this is the problem at the moment, each planet only has a limited number of tiles. And if you have maximum population on a planet and you're still producing surplus food, it's going to waste because the population can't grow anymore. So if that surplus food goes into a global surplus, then that will actually help new planets grow. So that's actually quite a good thing. I like that. We are going to have somebody unemployed here. We will need to build a something. These are those monuments. I really should learn how to pronounce that. Autochthon. Autochthon? Autochthon? No idea. Never heard of it before, ever. Not a word that I'm familiar with. So we could get some... Well, I guess extra food is not a bad thing. Let's go ahead and get a hydroponics farm down there. Because that'll help when we start settling other planets. And we will. We will start settling other planets. So let's go ahead and unpause. Did we survey that? I thought we actually... yeah, you are. You're researching that anomaly. That is good for us. So we've got some energy down here on Uranus. We should be able to get some from Sol as well. Terraforming candidate discovered. A detailed survey of Mars has revealed that it may once have supported life in the distant past. There are significant deposits of frozen water at the polar ice caps and beneath the planet's surface. The existence of valley networks suggests that water may once have flowed freely. Terraforming this planet would theoretically be possible, but we do not yet possess the technology to accomplish this monumental task within a realistic time frame. Okay, so that didn't really help us with anything at all. But we'll keep going round and doing the old exploring. It's usually worth as well, and we'll probably do it if we can afford it. Let's go ahead and can't quite afford it yet, don't have the minerals. Now we can. Let's get another science ship. Makes it a lot easier to go and explore things, so... Just get, there we go, just sorting out my stream a little bit. So we've finished our construction queue. We have our other science ship. We will need a leader. We don't have anyone who's free, so we'll recruit a scientist. Leader experience gain, anomaly fail risk. That'll be useful. So let's go ahead and put you in charge of this second science ship. And you are going to... check out somewhere else. Let's go over and send you to Sirius, I suppose, because that is within our area of influence, so that's not a bad thing to do. So we are gaining surplus food, which is really good. And also, because you now have a store for food, it means that you can stockpile food and then you're not going to starve instantly the moment your population grows. Leader has gained a level. Research that because there's no failure risk, so we might as well do it. And we found another one. Now there is a 30% chance of failure here. This is in Sirius. I think we'll still give it a go. We'll try it out. So orbital research mandate, increasing by building research stations. How many do we need to build? Is it 4? Yeah, it's usually 4. So we need to build 4 research stations. The anomaly on Io turned out to be a natural geothematical formation. It almost looks like a marker showing the way forward. The natural beauty of the universe can be quite astonishing. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies whenever we get the chance. It will almost assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. So we'll leave that going there. We just need to find some stuff. What are all these buttons we've got here? Sectors map mode, we don't have any. AI attitude map mode, we haven't met the AI yet. Opinion, diplomatic, and empire map mode, that's fine. Lights out in the mines. We have found an old mining station around the planet Sirius 1 orbit, drifting in orbit. It was surely used to mine the planet of its resources, but by whom remains a mystery. The technology within the station is very close to our own. We should be able to take hold of the station and have it up and running in no time, or we could always scrap it for parts. Well, I think we should take it and get some extra energy coming in, so that's not a bad thing at all. Contact report remnants. Weeks after the UNS Asimov's latest fruitful exploratory survey, human xenologists are practically falling over themselves to publish their takes on the findings of Sirius 1. This further storm in the scientific community has had some negative yet temporary impact on pursuit in other fields. Right, let's go ahead and get our construction ship. We're gaining minerals faster than we're gaining energy credits. We can gain 4 energy credits if we go and build a mining station around Saturn. So let's go ahead and start work on that. And we have completed the survey here in Sol. Funnily enough, there's nothing around the space, the sun itself, which is a little weird. Let's go ahead and pop out of here. Let's get our science ship and let's go and send you over to Alpha Centauri. So you can go and survey that. One thing you can do now, something they did add, is there is an ability here to do automatic exploration. It does require automated exploration protocols, but it means you don't, once you get that, you don't have to manually tell everybody which planet to go to or which system to go to. You can just get them to go and automate it. So we're still well below our fleet capacity. I certainly think it would be beneficial for us to build at least a few more corvettes. So we'll keep bringing a corvette out every now and again. Our first stumbling steps into the void beyond Earth were not motivated solely by curiosity or a desire to conquer the unknown or a need to leave our mark on the galaxy. The biosphere of Earth has undergone rapid changes in the past few centuries, and prominent scientists warn that Earth may be faced with the beginnings of a mass extinction event, the cynical purging of life that is inseparable from planetary existence in the greater cosmos. A research plan has been put together to study a number of planets rendered uninhabitable by major astronomical incidents or planet-bound catastrophes. We hope that by reconstructing these events, a similar fate may be avoided for Earth and the human race. It falls to you as President of the United Nations of Earth to ensure that this expedition is carried out. Consult the situation log for details. So, you want us to do what? We must study the effects the major calamities have had on other planets. An asteroid belt that orbits the star as the only witness to some great cataclysm. This planet wallows in its own infernal crucible. Astronomical records indicate that this planet was not always a frozen wasteland. So this is quite interesting then, because some of these ones, this seems like a new event to me. So this must be part of Utopia. I'm not familiar with this one. There's got to be a new one there. So that's quite cool. We've got another science ship that's not doing anything. Let's get you down to Bernard's star. Did I not actually have you selected? There we go. Go and survey that system. Traditions available. We have enough unity to adopt a new tradition. Okay, let's go and have a look at this then. Where do we get to this menu from normally? Is it here somewhere? Traditions, yes it is. Anything else new in there? Planets and sectors, factions, strategic resources, species leaders. No, that's all the same as it was before. Let's just bring that back and have a look. So, we can adopt any of these. Expansion. We must expand our civilization to new systems and planets or risk eventual extinction. Interesting. I wonder if that's why the colonization tech wasn't available to us at the very start, because normally that's one of the very first things that you can research, the colony ships. But that wasn't there this time around, which is interesting. So, colonization, capital buildings now produce one additional unity. For the purpose of colonizing and building frontier outpost systems count as being half the regular distance away. Useful. So we've also got domination. If we do not impose our will on others, they will inevitably impose theirs on us. So obviously this is a very militaristic thing. Increases governor skill, leader capacity. Tributaries give you extra income. Vassals increase naval capacity more. Subject integration cost is reduced. And integration cooldown and opinion is adjusted. Okay. Prosperity. There's no better indicator of success or failure than a star nation than the strength of its economy. So reduces things like ship cost and ship upkeep, and so that basically it makes things cheaper for us and we make more money. Harmony. Few things can match the strength of a content populace working towards a common goal. So increases leader lifespan. Ethics, unrest is reduced. Paradise Dome. While in a defensive war with another empire, ship build speed is increased by 33%. So it seems very much like this is the one for players who don't want to go to war. This is a I play a peaceful game sort of thing here. Then we've got supremacy. The future of the galaxy belongs to those who are strong enough to seize it. So this one is very much about strength then. Yep, ship build speed, naval capacity, seed planet war demand cost reduced, army damage increased, unity outpost increased by 10% per neighbouring rival, and admiral skills increased. Diplomacy, the surest way to destroy your enemies is to make them your friends. So this gives us the ability to do things like form federation. Federation naval capacity counts twice as much. So I'm guessing you can still join a federation, but if you want to form a federation, you've got to take diplomacy now. So it looks like they've taken some of the techs out of the tech tree and actually put them into these... I guess they're a little bit like the idea groups from Europa Universalis, or even a little bit like the social policies from Civilization 5. But that seems to be the way that these things go. And then you've got discovery. Our curiosity about the universe is what got us this far, and there is still so much left to discover. So, gives us more chance of discovering anomalies and less chance of failure. Research points equal to a third of your monthly gain when surveying planets. Cheaper scientist recruitment cost, leader skill levels increased by 1, and assist research. So this is basically if you want to do a lot of exploring. So expansion and exploration, both of these could be useful early on. Let's go ahead and go for expansion. I think that's a nice one to take for the early game. Not too sure what these are. This slot is not available. Finish your tradition group by adopting all of its traditions to unlock an ascension perk. Click to view a list of available ascension perks. Okay, so basically whenever we finish one of these... So I assume throughout the game you can take multiple. You could probably even take, you know, all of them if you've got enough. But when you finish one, when you get all... and I guess we've taken expansion here. So we have unlocked 0 out of the 5 traditions in the tree. So does it actually give us anything just for taking it? Oh, there is an adoption effect. What was the adoption effect for this one? Show me what the finisher... Oh, adoption effect. New colonies start with 1 additional pop. Right, okay. So when it's finished, then we get the finisher... So again, it is quite like the social policies system in Civilization 5. It's almost identical. You collect a resource, you pick one of the trees, when you select that tree, you get an adoption effect, then you've got 5 or 6 things within the tree that all have their own effects, and when you've got all of them, you get a finisher effect. It's identical to Civilization 5. And then once we finish one, we also get to pick an Ascension perk. So things that give us extra border range, research speed. Some of these things certainly seem like they are out of the tech tree and they've been moved over. Okay, that's interesting. Well, let's carry on then. We'll get a few more things surveyed. And yes, we will have a pirate event coming, so we do need to work towards that. At the same time, though, I also want to make sure that we have ourselves the ability to build and maintain a fleet. So let's go ahead and get the construction ship. And we'll go ahead and build a mining station on Io. And then after that, we'll queue up... well, we can't because we don't have the minerals. But we'll need another mining station on Jupiter as well. So Alpha Centauri is now finished. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Tibor. I mean, while I do like the changes that they made to Civilization 6 in regards to the civics... There was nothing wrong with the social policies tree in Civilization 5, so... That's not a bad thing. In fact, there was only one thing that didn't really work with that, which was there was pretty much an optimal way to go. Like, you pretty much always took tradition, especially if you played on high difficulty levels. There was no point in playing anything that wasn't, so you definitely got into a point where you were picking the same ones over and over again. Hopefully, Stellaris is going to be dynamic enough so that every time you play it, you can... go a different route, so you can be the sort of domination focus colossal fleet going around wiping everybody out, or you can be the explorers and the scientists, or you can be the diplomats. Hopefully each method will be a viable win tactic. I've also just noticed we're at the food cap. We only have 200 stored food available. We've encountered some form of alien vessels. They'll be known as the Pards until we can learn more about them. News of an alien ship humming through the ether have reached Earth, in many ways ending the first chapter in the book of the United Nations of Earth bid for a stellar empire.
Anomaly found.
There's another anomaly. We will go and research it anyway. Close the galaxy map because I want to go ahead and get my construction ship, which is over there. And we'll go ahead and get ourselves... Do I not have the construction ship selected? There we go. And build a mining station here. So we might as well get mining stations on like everything we can here. 67. I have 67. Is it some sort of rounding error? It says I have 67. What have we got here? Oh, so many things popping up all at once. Let's go ahead and do that anyway. Mining station. Build that. Okay. So while approaching Procyon 4 Alpha, the UNS... Gagarin suddenly received a glancing hit by several passing mass driver rounds. The projectiles were billions of years old, and based on their trajectory they appeared to be stray rounds fired from a neighbouring galaxy. After missing their intended target, they continued on their journey for untold millennia until today. The rounds we have recovered are of an advanced design despite their incredible age. So that gives us some engineering points. Excellent. And all of a sudden, loads of leaders gain levels. That's fine. Let's just keep researching stuff. We're not bothered about level ups because we don't have to pick anything. It's not like we're playing Endless Space and we have to pick what their new abilities are. We know about the anomalies. Our team has not been able to deduce anything of great interest from the asteroid as first expected, except for some common minerals. Adds resource. Oh, right, okay, so asteroid belt gets some minerals from it. Okay. Not too great, but
Research
it will do.
complete. System survey complete.
Okay, so what was previously thought to be assorted mountains in the southern hemisphere of Procyon 2 have been identified as the massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Procyon 2 could have supported life on that scale at any point in the planet's history. Science Officer Francis Jones has prepared a special research project to delve further into the mystery. So that gives us a special research project. That will appear in the situation log. So, scientist present has to have a skill 3 or higher. And then we'll have to go back there. Let's go ahead and work on that. And let's go ahead and sort out the tech that we need to do as well. So research speed plus 5%. I mean, I guess it makes sense to try and take that one early on. So we'll work on that. So we've got another science ship not doing anything. The Asimov, you are down there. You're going to move over to that one. So let's get you down here and survey that. So far, not an awful lot has changed, apart from we've seen the addition of traditions, which I quite like so far. We're not too far away from getting another. And the change to food. So those are the main things we've got going on here. Right, another research is done. So we can now build the engineering facilities. So army damage and an extra 5% minerals, mineral storage capacity, or nanocomposite armor. Let's go and get the extra minerals, because that'll help us for upgrading ships and things like that. Let's make sure we go and build ourselves some more corvettes where we can afford to. That's another survey done. So that's this science ship. You go ahead and get over there. What we can do is we can actually still queue up multiple things. We've met somebody else down here. This is the Athalid Galactic League. We're receiving a transmission from the Athalid Galactic League. They appear to have successfully translated our language. Diplomatic channels are now open and all hostilities between us have ceased for the moment. Gain some influence. So they speak on behalf of the Athalid Galactic League. We are a democratic nation committed to upholding the individual freedoms of our citizens in a galaxy full of alien horrors. Our elected leader, President Ibnar, warns you are not to interact with our citizens or approach our space. So they are fanatic Elegatarians, which gives them faction influence gain and reduced consumer goods costs. And they are xenophobes, so they really don't like aliens. We'll say we're delighted to meet them. The news that we have encountered intelligent alien life for the first time is spreading like wildfire throughout the United Nations of Earth. Our citizens are fascinated by these beings, and the media is full of reports and speculation on their culture and society. The revelation that we are not alone in this galaxy has largely been greeted with celebration on Earth. Just like us, the aliens appear to be relative newcomers on the galactic stage. Their level of technology is similar to our own. Non-aggression pacts. We'll take that for the time being. Means I can't attack them, but at the same time it means that they can't attack us. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the United Nations of Earth. Led by scientist Fernando Mendez, they call themselves the Democratic Rights Committee. Their members work for equality and justice for all denizens of our empire. A disgruntled faction will be a source of trouble, but those that approve of the government's actions could prove useful. So that sounds like it's a bit of a change. At least it might just be something that I'm not familiar with. So we do have a factions tab here. So does that mean these guys have issues? I can't actually see what any of this is. Oh, there we go. It's down here. So anti-autocratic. A nominally elected government will please the Democratic Rights Committee. Well, that's true, because we elect. Free movement. Ensuring the free movement of POPs by allowing all species access to the core worlds and prohibiting forced resettlement and disabling migration controls will please the Democratic Rights Committee. Well, again, we do have free movement. Reproductive freedom, ensuring that no species in our empire is subject to population controls. Well, that's true. Failing to ban the practice of slavery will displease the Democratic Rights Committee. No current effect on faction happiness. Do we actually have... Now, I've got to try and remember where this is now. Policies and edicts. Slavery. Slavery is prohibited, so I don't know why it's saying that they're unhappy about that. Back into factions again. So they're relatively happy. Their size is 4. There are 5 pops within our empire that could potentially join the faction, but it is giving us some... Because they're happy, it's actually giving us extra influence, so that's quite nice. It's a nice way to get some extra influence going. That I can live with. And we see the faction down here. We can see at a glance if they are happy or not.
Complete.
The Voltaeum Star Assembly. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Naranka 4 Alpha. They must have been active in this region of space approximately 12 million years ago, judging by the age of the artifacts. From what they have been able to piece together, our scientists theorize that these aliens, who called themselves the Voltaeum Star Assembly, were worm-like annelids, roughly 3 to 4 meters in length, that communicated with each other primarily through vibrations carried along their segmented bodies. And it gives us a precursor to another event. Fantastic. Science ship. Do we actually have a rank 3 scientist on any of our science ships? No, you are still both level 2. Let's go ahead and survey these systems up here, actually. Start getting the ones that are closer to us. We do have a couple of events and things that we will need to do, so we'll have to come back down to those at some point. There's another research done. That has reduced our growth time. So what do we want to take next? Frontier Clinic. So that gives us some extra food. Orbital hydroponic farms. Or terraforming. Terraforming could, colonization protocols and pioneer training. Reveals resources as well. Terraforming gases and terraforming liquids. It's a slightly more expensive tech, but let's give it a go. See what we can start to find. The Infinity Equation. As the UNS Asimov approaches the Gargantua black hole, they find that they are not alone. At the edge of the event horizon, it soars, reflecting the light from stars and being drawn into the dark, gaping hole. A gigantic construction in the shape of a perfect sphere. We cannot pick up any signals from it, nor does anything we send make it respond. It simply sits at the edge of the abyss, waiting, and it begins a technosphere event chain. So already we're getting new events that must be from the DLC. So what do you want us to do here? But so it sits silent for now, but will it be forever? So it doesn't look like it's going to do anything specifically. And what about this one? What do we do here? We have to recover artifacts. If we can find enough relics from their civilization, it may be possible to pinpoint the location of their home system. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look over here. Can we actually see this thing? Yeah, we can. It's right there, look. Military power is an estimate of the combined offensive and defensive capabilities of the fleet, and we know nothing about it. Ravgard the Blue, hello and welcome to the stream. Mostly I play strategy games, so I play a lot of turn-based and a few real-time games. So mainly things like EU4, CK2, Civilization, and of course Stellaris. But I try and give anything a go if it's a game that I particularly enjoy. Occasionally I'll stream things like Overwatch and Smite and various other sort of MOBA-style games. Leviathan DLC. Well, this is the thing. I know I've got Leviathan DLC, but I never really played it. So I know that there are some bits and pieces in here that I'm not going to be familiar with, but they're not necessarily going to be from Utopia. So, yeah, I can completely understand that there are going to be bits and pieces here. So if you do spot anything that you know that is definitely not from Leviathan, or you know it's definitely from Utopia, then yeah, by all means, point that out. Let's carry on. We should probably use our construction ship, although, of course, now we've got this Leviathan again here. The United Nations of Earth has encountered something that is so beyond sublime. Giant beings, their sheer existence a testament to the unfathomable wonders of the universe that make most life forms appear like flickering lights next to burning stars. Despite the true nature of the Leviathan being unknown, the people on Earth are hopefully in awe of what has been found, and optimistic about what it may bring. So, construction ship, where are you? Science officer has leveled up and gained the trait expertise industry. Ravgard, thank you for the sub. Right, let's go ahead and construct something. Can we get any more energy credits out of this system? We cannot. But we can definitely go ahead and get some more minerals. So let's work on that. Can we afford to get ourselves a Corvette? Yes, we can. Let's keep that going. I try not to sort of limit the channel to doing one particular game or one particular genre. Obviously, I do have my favourites, but I do get sent a lot of stuff that I look at and think, yeah, this is interesting, and if it's interesting enough, I'll play it. Which I think is fair enough, and, you know, I'll see how people react to it. If my subscribers like watching it and want to see more of it, I'll do more, and if not, then I'll probably do a couple of episodes and stop. So, I try and keep everybody happy where I can. So what can we get here? We can either have capital buildings producing additional unity, or we can have, for the effects of colonising and building frontier outposts, systems count as being half the regular distance away. Both of those are very useful. But I don't think that we can do... I don't think we can even build colony ships at the moment, so we might as well gain the extra unity, and then we can pick that one up all the faster. So let's go ahead and do that. Do I prefer Stellaris over EU4? I'm a big sci-fi nerd, so I like the theme of Stellaris. I actually really like the whole space thing. But at the same time, I've got a lot more playtime in EU4, and I understand EU4 a lot better. So I think I actually have more fun playing EU4, simply because I know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm a bit of a babe in the woods with Stellaris, and I kind of fumble my way through it still. If Stellaris got up to... If my level of knowledge of Stellaris got up to what it is with EU4... And I still think there are a few things that they need to fix and sort out in Stellaris. I would probably like Stellaris more. But at the moment, no, I think EU4... I've certainly go back and play EU4 a lot more than Stellaris.
Anomaly found. Construction complete.
We can do that one absolutely
System
fine.
survey complete.
So I also quite enjoy CK2 as well, but CK2 is like a completely different game, because with CK2... it's all about the actual characters. Well, if you're interested in RTS, and this is not a definite yet, but it's a possibility, a friend of mine who's another YouTuber, Polish guy, Marbazir, he may be getting me a key for Dawn of War 3 within the next couple of days. So you may be seeing some Warhammer 40k RTS on the channel very soon. Let us hope. Can't get another Corvette yet. Remnants of a small Voltium Helium-3 mining base have been found at the bottom of a large crater on Durabius 2. The blast that created the crater seems to have originated from inside the facility itself. Unless Voltom mining techniques were radically different from our own, an equipment failure or accident cannot account for such massive explosions. It gives us a special project. We're getting a lot of these special projects now. Where's this one? Orbital research mandate. No, we don't have any of that. Oh, yes, we do. Scientist has skill 4 or higher. It's going to be a while before we can do that. I've never actually played Vicky 2. The Victoria series is like the one Paradox Grand Strategy that I never really played. And I didn't even play Hearts of Iron until Hearts of Iron 4 either. I played a bit of that when it came out. Again, I'm terrible at it. I enjoy it. I like it. Not as much as things like EU4 and CK2, because I don't like that the scope of it is so limited. And it's obviously pretty much all focused on the combat side of things. But yeah, Hearts of Iron 4 was my first experience with the Hearts of Iron series. I'm probably not going to go back and do Vicky 2 because it is an older game. If they make a Victoria 3, then yeah, I'll probably jump in on that one. Do we have a scientist with... Yes, you've got rank 3 now. What are you currently doing? Are you doing anything useful? You're surveying something up there. Right, let's get you... Once you've done... You're miles away. What about the other guy? You're rank 3 as well. So once you've finished doing that, get yourself over there and research the projects in that system. And unpause. So what's our fleet up to? 9 of 14. We're still relatively good on resources. And of course we can get some resources over here in Sirius. A planet in this system still wears the fossilised traces of a past ecology on its sleeve. What could turn to a thriving biosphere into a blasted wasteland. A special project has been issued to trace the source of this disastrous transformation. So we're getting a lot of these things sort of popping up for us to research, which are a little bit annoying. Let's go ahead and get our construction ship over here. And I'd like to go ahead and build a few more energy credit mines. And then we'll have more energy to get more mineral mines. So that makes a lot of sense. So you have arrived. The constant calculator. We picked up a signal. It originates from the Titanic metallic sphere we encountered earlier. Previously impervious to contact attempts, it now sends out a rhythmic pulse of radio waves pointed towards the black hole it orbits. What it's doing is beyond any of our staff, but this signal might have created an opening into the sphere for our scientists to explore. Fascinating. Issue a special project researching the orb, or we don't have time for this. Right, no, of course we want to research the orb, don't we? What's the worst that could happen? Construction ship. Would you be so kind as to go over there, and you can't build a mining station. Why can't you do that? Planet is not within our borders. Is it not? Oh no, because I always look at the planet and not the hex up there, which is really annoying. Well, that's just a pain. Right, let's go here and we'll build the mining station and get the last couple of minerals then. If that's how you're going to be, game, fine. So how do we need to do this? We need a scientist with skill 3 or higher. We can do that. Not you. We want the other guy. You are going to go, and once you've finished doing whatever you're doing, research the special projects in that system.
Anomaly found.
An abandoned ship has been left to drift aimlessly above this planet, the massive sails protruding from its hull suggesting that it relied on solar power to function. We can research that. Let us go ahead and get another corvette. How are we doing on the surface? We've got some unemployed people down here. In fact, we need to start clearing some of these tile blockers, don't we? Let's go ahead and... Oh, okay, now we've got hostiles. Got a million things to do. Let's... Did I not pause this? Right, okay, we are paused. Good. So we'll clear that, and we'll clear that, and we'll start getting some people moved. So the UNS Gagarin has encountered a hostile alien vessel, currently attempting to evade them. We've encountered some form of alien vessels. The strange objects have been flagged as goblins until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. So where did we just run into those guys? You've just gone missing without a trace. So you were down, you were here. Hostile vessel, 1k worth of power. And our fleet has 299. Yeah, so we're not going to be dealing with those. Yeah, the machine does have skull power. I don't so I don't know if we can. I don't know. I was going to try like a peaceful thing, but yes, it did definitely have a skull above it. Our science ship's gone missing, which is a bit of a pain. We do need to continue building the fleet up, of course, but let's also remember that we need to get some stuff built here. So what can we build? Will anything allow us to store food? Not really. Let's get a power plant then. And we should have got the power plant there, really.
System survey complete.
Well, we can get another one. Let's go and swap you around so we instantly start working that power. And we can get some... Well, we're capped out on food, so we don't need to prioritise that. So you move to there. This could be upgraded if we actually had the minerals to do so. How much will that cost us? 90 minerals. Shouldn't take too long. There we go. So let's go and upgrade that. So you're now working on this. The Infinity Machine is a neutral fleet, so let's hope that nothing too bad happens to us. Right. So you have returned home. This planet is potentially dangerous, so let's go and leave that alone. So let's survey this one. And we'll work our way around the outside of that one, leaving it well alone. It'd be nice if our borders expanded slightly. We've got an inactive building, which is fine. It's just a building that doesn't have a population. So let's put you there for now. That'll be okay. So, another physics project. Assist research, which I never really use, especially in the early game, because my science vessels are all busy going around exploring stuff. Basic combat roles. So, these give us combat computers for the corvettes. Or we can get the observatory module, which is a rare tech. We might as well work on it. It's a rare tech. You never know when they're going to pop up. So we can either take the effect on increased tradition cost caused by number of colonies reduced by 33%. Well, we don't have any colonies. Population growth time reduced by 10%. Well, the only planet we have currently is at full pop. So let's go for the purpose of colonizing and building frontier outposts. Systems count as being half the regular distance away. So let's go ahead and take that one. I also see that the cost is going up exponentially. So there are potentially some good places where we could get research outposts. Getting well, not a research outpost, getting a frontier outpost here, so we could gain the extra power would be nice, or the extra energy credits. But I don't think it's worth doing it just for that. The metallic orb has been opened up. Our hacking team has been able to use the outgoing signal as a gateway into one of the auxiliary CPUs of the sphere. We are receiving some data from it and can tell that it's been scanning the black hole Gargantua for a very long time. It is old, very old. This constant calculator now lies within our grasp of understanding. If we push harder, we might find out what it is doing here and who built it. What marvels might it contain? So, contact the main processor unit. The Infinity Machine. Hello, hello, nice to meet you. Hello? It is quite enjoyable to pass the time with pleasantries, is it not? We hope the rest of your kind is not like you were when you did not take kindly to small talk. You see, we don't get to enjoy conversation much anymore. Few are well versed enough in the finer points of quantum programming to reach us, so thank you. We are the Infinity Machine, your words, not ours. Or has that not happened yet? Either way, it will eventually trust us. What are you... This option is available due to the fanatic litigation. No, we're not bothered about that. What are you? We wish to know your purpose here. Can we assist you in your research? Good luck with your calculations. We wish to know your purpose here. We are calculating infinity, no more, no less. Or actually, it is way more and way less. That is the problem right there. We understand that your manner of life form won't understand, but that's alright, you never will, and we apologise. Or maybe we do, eventually. We are here to solve the infinity conundrum. The last calculation to ever be, the lone problem to take hold of our processors for more than a fraction of a galactic year. In case you haven't discovered that calendar yet, it is a very long time, for your kind, that is. What are you? We are what we are, the ones who calculate. You call us the Infinity Machine, or will at least. 'Tis not a truthful name, but it is well suited to highlighting the ingenuity of our design. We will tell you our history now, as we have done many times before. Oh right, we need to convey it in words. That's new, or is it? It's hard to keep track of you all. We were constructed in the crudest sense of the word in order to solve a problem. We solved it, and then we needed more problems to solve. We now only have one left. Can we assist you in your research? Well, perhaps. We could finish about some mathematical stuff that I'm not going to attempt to read. If we could borrow your most advanced processing unit as well as your brightest minds, we would be satisfied in finishing faster. We wish to know your answer. Yeah, we will allocate our resources to you. You already did, or maybe that was the ones who came before. It matters not. The task shall finish. We are excited. So that has given us a new thing here in the situation log somewhere. Understanding infinity. So we need a science ship and a scientist with a skill of 5 or higher. We don't have one yet. I think our Ooh, wrong button. You're a 3 and you are a 3. That's going to take some time. This... Right, what's that one there? Understanding Infinity. We can't do that yet. There was a couple of other special projects around. You can probably go ahead and do that one, though. Not you, you. So go ahead and research projects in that system. Okay, onwards and forwards we go then. I think I did play the game briefly after Leviathans came out, but I never actually encountered any of the Leviathan events at the time. So powered exoskeletons is done. This gives us the option of ion thrusters. That should be nice, gives us a bit more speed. Mineral storage capacity or building build speed. Let's go for the ion thrusters. Get some upgrades done to our ships. Speaking of ships, can we do any sorts of upgrades to them? We can for 45 gems. We can upgrade them, so let's go ahead and do that. Nice and quick. And again, as we do have some minerals in the bank, let us make sure that we keep building where we can. Building requires pop. Yeah, so we still need to sort some of this stuff up. We need to clear these tile blockers. We'll need to build a building there, but we cannot afford it. We now know, without a doubt, that thriving biosphere is not something unique to Earth. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalogue the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. A commendable initiative, or we have more important matters to focus on. Well, I guess it's commendable, and that's given us a new quest, because, you know, of course it has. That's what the game does. This could be quite a nice more energy. We could definitely go and build a frontier outpost down there. There are some more stars down here, and it would grab this for us. Let's go ahead and move the construction ship down here. Can we build a frontier outpost? No, we don't have enough, but we can move down there, so we will go ahead and do that. Science ships are still busy doing stuff, so that's okay. We do need to sort of get our fleet up to maximum size. Special project has been completed. Our continued studies of the massive skeletal remains on Procyon 2 have managed to shed some light on how the creature ended up on the planet. There are very faint residual energy readings that indicate some kind of dimensional portal existed briefly towards the rear of the skeleton. Science Officer Fernando Mendez theorizes that the creature passed through this gateway from another dimension only to quickly perish in the hostile environment of Procyon 2. Why it did that and where it came from are questions that may never be answered. If you're having problems with the stream, Ravguard, I will be uploading it to the channel, so anything you miss you'll be able to watch tomorrow on the VOD on the YouTube channel. So 200 experience for Fernando and some physics research too. Excellent. So what do we want to do with you guys? Let's go ahead and have a look out here. Survey these systems just before we go ahead and get ourselves that frontier outpost. See if it is worth getting. A lot of 1K hostile fleets around. Makes it very, very difficult to actually go and clear anything up.
System survey complete. Anomaly found.
We have an anomaly. That's really difficult to say. An anomaly. Election. Election for whom? So, who do we want to elect as our leader? So you're governing Earth. You're ruling from Earth. So are you our current leader? An orbital researcher. You're the governor of Earth, right? Yeah, you're the governor of Earth. So you are the current ruler. Vote share. Can we vote for you? We can support you. So that puts you up towards the top. We've supported you one time. That'll probably be enough to get you in. No, we'll support you again. 2 times, 30%. Yeah, that's understandable, Ravgod. Like I said, though, you can always watch it again another day. You're not going to miss anything. Might want to include the black hole where the infinity machine sits in your border, of course. of course, if you complete that chain event. Yeah, so maybe I do want to go and grab it over here. We'll do that then. Let's go over here then and build a frontier outpost. That should be enough to get that within range, I think. Or do we need to go and build it directly on there? We could cancel that one. We'll build one here for the time being. I think we'll be alright for now. We can just stay in the galaxy map, actually. The readings originated from a small metal pod. Science Officer Francis Jones has determined to be a lifeboat of an ancient alien make. Evidently caught on the outskirts of the black hole's gravity well aeons ago at an angle just short of a slingshot maneuver. Whether this was the intent or happenstance is difficult to judge, and the pod's automated thrusters have been fighting its descent into the event horizon ever since. It's now too close to the horizon to salvage. Francis Jones' report ends abruptly, and the crew of the UNS Gagarin communicate that the science officer appears shaken and deeply troubled by the tragic fate of the lifeboat. Is this going to be another one of those Star Trek The Next Generation inner light moments? Francis Jones now has the paranoid trait, but it's given us some science, so that's not a bad thing. A new ruler has been elected, who was the same ruler as before. We've re-elected, so nothing changes. The status quo is still the same. That faction is still happy. What have we got here? Let's pause up, if you wouldn't mind. Allegedly, the planet's flora and fauna, choked on their own poisonous emissions, likely helped along by the release of reactive gases from beneath the planet's crust. A special project has been issued to investigate the matter. Okay. You want a research agreement? Sure. If you want to stay friendly, let's go ahead and do that. We still don't have a scientist with a skill of 5. And to be honest, I'm not sure if we're ever going to get one. It does take some time. Our borders just naturally expanded there to include that. So as that has happened, and you've not actually built anything yet, I don't want to disband you. I want you to stop and remove all actions. There we go. What you can do actually is you can build a mining station here. Go ahead and build a research station there. And then you can go over there and... oh, damn it. Every time. Right, let's try that again. Build mining stations. Build research stations. Build frontier outposts. There we go. Get it done in the right order this time.
System survey complete.
So we're still getting the surveys done. So I wanted to have a look down here to see if it was worth building another outpost down here, and it might be, actually. It's probably not an awful lot there. We do need to get our sort of forces big enough to deal with some of these guys. Let's go ahead and build a mining network there.
System survey complete.
And then we'll finish off by clearing out these ones where we can.
Found.
There's another anomaly. 0% chance of a failure, so... should definitely go ahead and do that. This science ship, can you research that project? It appears that you might be able to, so let's get on and do that. A small short-range transmitter has been located on the surface of Stratal 2. It appears to be an ancient survey marker, placed here eons ago to mark a large deposit of precious metals. The miners it was meant for evidently never arrived, and the deposit is still here. Nice, that gives it a nice +4 minerals. Good stuff. Did I send you there first? Maybe I sent you there first, I'm not sure. Mass extinction toxic. The cracks in the planet's crust, first presumed to be the result of significant tectonic activity, are actually the lasting marks of impossibly large roots burrowing through the Earth. At some point in the distant past, a freak mutation, possibly deliberately induced by sentient beings, though it unlikely they could ever predicted the result, caused the native plant life to grow out of control. Many of these plants reproduce through pollination, with countless gametes carried by currents through the lower atmosphere, While this process was originally only cause for mild irritation, the exponential increase in atmosphere-borne particles effectively choked the life out of all animals on the planet in a matter of months. I really struggle reading this font sometimes with like the round letters, the A's, the O's, the E's, and the R's even. The RN looks like an M to me. It's such a tricky font to read. Could be just my aging eyes really, but you know. Science ship, you have done that over there. So let's go ahead and get you surveying up some more systems. We'll actually start moving you. Okay, well if that's the way you're going to go. And we'll get these done up. Just trying to survey all the systems sort of close to home really, before we move too far out. So you've done that one. You might as well start to survey these ones also.
Tile blocker cleared.
So let's go and do that. We have encountered some form of alien vessels. Strange beings flagged as Extros until we learn more about them. Should proceed with caution. We have a hostile fleet. Military power 21. No, that's a station. Military power 516. We might be able to beat them. Start research. What do we want here? Synchronized defenses, physics lab, or solar panel network? Solar panel network does give us additional energy credits. We do have at least one station. So 516. Can we beat that yet? What is our fleet? 363 is still very, very low. We can still get a couple more ships, so that is something that we should work on. So let's get a couple more corvettes. And then we'll have to go back and deal with those guys. So you're all the way down there. Well, that's good to know. We can pick up another tradition. Now, what we could do if we wanted to is actually open another route here. But we could also reduce our frontier upkeep by half, which could be useful. Or do we go for this discovery stuff here? I think we go for discovery. What's the adoption effect? Research station build cost reduce. Yeah, I think we're going to go discovery as well, because we're getting a lot of events and things that we're having to research, so being able to do them a little bit cheaper. All we need to be able to do is build up a massive fleet. Because we've got quite a few quests and things to do now. There's a lot of stuff happening here. So that's the terraforming done. Biolab, monthly influence +1, and propaganda broadcasts. Sure, let's get working on that. So we are now up to our fleet capacity. It's only 423, which is not great. We need some upgrades to our ships to be able to take some of these guys on. Of course, that is only a soft cap. We could go above that, but then it'll cost us many more energy credits each month. No fail risk on that.
Research complete.
So we did build on that. We can't get to that star there. You are within our area of influence there. So if we go down here and we can build the mining stations, it'll cost us a fair few minerals, but it'll pay for itself quite quickly. Got terraforming liquids down there as well. Excellent. So what do we want here? Fusion missiles, robots, or mineral storage capacity? Let's go for these fusion missiles. Let's get to a point where we can actually start doing some damage. We need to upgrade our ships a bit here. Leader scientist. Okay, still only level 3 though. You're level 3. Do we not have anybody? What am I looking for? Sectors, leaders. That's what I want. So we do have a level 4 scientist, but no level 5 scientist. If you can hurry up, you're almost level 4 as well. So it is quite possible. Do you know what we should do as well? We should recruit an admiral for the fleet. Cheaper to recruit, cheaper ship upkeep, and better weapons range. You're actually the youngest as well. So I think we'll go for you. I tend to go for the younger people because they'll live longer. So, it's kind of the theory there. And what have we got here? Immense ragged plains of shadow drift across Raskamir 3's face. They are cast not by clouds, but by sheets of organic material drifting throughout the upper layers of the atmosphere, hinged, or rather jointed, to allow for a small degree of articulation. Science Officer Francis Jones is as yet unwilling to say whether these things are flora or fauna, or what possible purpose, if any, their elaborate shadow casting might serve. Would I call Utopia worth the price? At the moment, it's difficult to say because I haven't really played enough of it to see exactly what it adds. And it also comes, and this is the thing that annoys me a little bit with what Paradox do. They release their DLCs at the same time as they release a major content patch. And while they do document what is free in the patch and what is part of the DLC, sometimes it's actually quite tricky to sort of really play through the game and discern what exactly you're paying for and what is just part of the patch. I mean, it is the first major content update that they have provided. It does change quite a lot of things. It adds some new mechanics to the game, and so far what I've seen of it, I like it. Whether it's worth the price or not, I can't really answer that, because in all fairness, in perfect honesty, I get all my DLCs for free from Paradox. I don't pay for them. I generally find with a lot of DLCs, if you really enjoy the game and you play the hell out of it, then yeah, by all means, it probably is well worth the money. But if it's just the sort of game that you pick up and play every now and then, you might just want to wait until the DLC comes on a sale. I guess it's just what you're going to get out of it personally. If it's a game you love, I mean, I loved Civilization 5. Whenever a DLC came out for Civilization 5, I just rushed out and bought it at full price, because I wanted to play more stuff for Civilization 5. It was a game I really enjoyed. Now that we've got a little bit of extra money coming in and we've got a bit of a surplus, I'm going to go slightly over the ship cap. It's going to cost me a few extra energy credits each month, but I think overall it'll be worth it. We can go and start dealing with some of the hostile ships. We've got that mining base over here. We need a scientist with skill 4. We will have one soon. Let's go ahead and work on that. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the United Nations of Earth. Led by Governor Koshiro Yoshida, they call themselves the Xeno Aid Alliance. Their members have been pushing hard for friendly relations with alien species. They're not as happy. They don't have many people that are part of them. Why are you so unhappy? All refugees welcome. No purge policy. Purges being considered lawful will displease the Xeno Aid Alliance. Do we have a purge policy? Purging is prohibited. So why aren't you happy about that? Would I pay for it? I probably would, but assuming that I wasn't saying, well, you see, at the moment, as a YouTuber... T-Ball, thanks a lot, I'll catch you later. As a YouTuber, I would tend to... If I didn't get the DLC for free, I'd buy it when it came out at full price anyway, just so that I could make videos of it, because it does get me views. If I wasn't a YouTuber, for Stellaris, I probably wouldn't pay for it at full price. I'd probably pick it up eventually when it came down in price, when it was on a sale or something, when it was slightly reduced. But I don't play Stellaris enough to want to rush out and buy it at full price. Something like EU4, of course, where I play a lot, if a DLC came out for that I wasn't getting for free, I would still go and buy it on release day, because I would make the most of it. See, anyone that knows me who has... You know, if you're familiar with my channel and what I've played before, I actually got Stellaris from Paradox before the game launched. Got it about a week early, and I played it a lot, and I really enjoyed it. And I played it for about a week after it came out. And then I hit that sort of midpoint of the game, and it got kind of dull. And since then, I hadn't really played it at all. And I've not played it for months, and I got sent a copy of Leviathans, and I never really bothered with that. And there's been 2 or 3 major patches since then that I hadn't really tried out. And I got back into Stellaris again last month when the modding scene brought out the Star Trek New Horizons Total Conversion mod. And obviously that's kind of got to be redone now, because it's not compatible with Utopia because of a lot of the mechanic changes. But I don't play Stellaris enough for me to want to rush out and pay full price for the expansions and the DLCs. Unless, of course, they produced a DLC that really fixed a lot of the issues that the mid-game has. Asteroid fauna. Amazingly, while conducting their survey of ZA-19Y2K, the crew of the UNS Gagarin picked up several life signs coming from within the asteroid. There appears to be a colony of large burrowing worm-like lithivores within the rock, which has been riddled with tunnels. These unique life forms have, however, adopted to a life of the coldness of space. These creatures should be studied. So what else do we want to build and where? We've gone over our ship limit. I think we are still building another one, which is fine. You guys seem to be expanding your influence a little bit. You've got another planet out there, which I don't like too much. There's a research done. Solar panel networks are now done. Planet fortification toughness. So that's specifically for planets. Let's go for the energy storage capacity. We have a free science ship with a skill of 4. So you can go ahead and research that special project. Let's get you working on that one. And we've got science ships going like all over the place at the moment. Are we still working on a Corvette? I thought I told you. Oh, that's why we were 16 over 14, and our limit has gone up to 15. But so let's go up to 17.
Evading hostile
and we found another hostile fleet. You are where exactly? You are the extras. You've only got like 500 and something, so you're not particularly worrisome. I mean, you are worrisome. But we could go and take you out. We've encountered some form of alien vessels in the liaison system. They've been flagged as hombres until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. Right, so we've got our fleet. And where did we just encounter these aliens? There's 1K. They're not the ones that we want to deal with. 1K, 516. Nearly 2K down there, so we want to leave you well alone. There was some down here, though. There, let's go and move our fleet down there, and we might actually win our first battle.
Evading hostile fleet.
I've never actually played Stellaris in multiplayer. I guess it does give people more... See, the thing I like the most about this is this thing so far, these traditions, which pretty much, if you've played Civilization 5, they pretty much work exactly the same way that social policies do. So you gain these, what's this stuff called? Is it just tradition? Unity. So you gain unity. And you can see there's a list of different ways that allow you to gain it by having different buildings and various different things going on. And each time you gain enough unity, you can either unlock one of these trees, and you get a bonus for unlocking a tree. You get an adoption effect. And then within the tree, you can spend it on unlocking these individual policies, which give you some sort of bonus or unlock a tech. Some of the tech seem to have been moved in here. And they give you various different things. So this one centres more around expansion and colonisation. This one's more around science and research. You've got ones that are more about sort of growing in wealth. You've got ones that focus on sort of domination and expansion through combat and war. You've got one that focuses more on sort of just growing and keeping out of harm's way and, just being defensive. So it gives you lots of different valid ways to play. Now, of course, as far as I can tell, you can pick up, multiple of these. You could probably, by the end of the game, possibly even unlock them all. And when you finish one of them off, you actually get to pick one of these other perks as well. So I think this will be quite interesting in multiplayer. If you've got different people playing in different ways, that'll be quite interesting to see. And also food is now a global resource, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to grow new planets. Right, let's go ahead and have a look what we've got going on over here. We have a fleet to destroy. They do have some sort of station down there, which we will have to be careful of, but it looks fairly weak. It looks like it's just a mining station. So let's go down here and engage these guys. We only have slightly more power than they do.
Special project complete.
So we could come off out of this worse. Miraculously, we managed to salvage parts of a Voltum data core that had been blown clear of the crater of Derubius 2. Most of the data was corrupt, but our scientists did manage to properly translate the Korga, the basic Voltum time unit. Okay, we've got another free science ship. Where do we want to send you now? Guess we could go and survey these. preference with tall or wide. I normally end up going tall in a lot of games, and that's usually because I tend to stall and delay on getting like colonies started, or if I'm playing Civilization, getting those second and third cities up and running. So I do like going tall, but I often find, particularly on games like this, sometimes you need to go wide because it's the only way to get resources that you wouldn't normally have. And Civilization, again, is another classic example of that. You can't just grow tall in one or two cities because you'll never get access to all the resources you need. But generally, I prefer to go tall. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. I should investigate some of these aliens. Let's go and work on a couple of them, actually. Science ships are still doing science shippy things. Let's make sure we are down here in the system so we can watch this space battle going on. I'm hoping it works in our favour. Let's go ahead and not have this on the highest speed. We don't necessarily want it running too slow. I was going to say, trying to remember how to move the camera around. Well, we've got a good range on our weapons, which helps. They've got no leader. We are taking some damage, so we may end up losing a ship or two. In fact, we've already lost one. They're taking some heavy hits. We're taking some heavy hits as well. We've definitely got the numbers advantage. Of course, now we're in close, they may have more of an advantage than we do. Actually taking a lot of hits here. More than in fact, they're actually starting to pull back. They now have more power than I do. So that was quite interesting. We definitely want to try and take a couple more of them out. So, no, we're starting... No, it was going back in our favour again. We may end up having to retreat here. And they're pulling us back towards the station, which is not a good thing. They are taking some heavy losses now, though. Musashi, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel and the stream. Yeah, stop leading me towards that station. That station is firing on me. We are going to have to go back to Earth now and queue up some more corvettes because we've just lost a ton of them. But that's fine. They're down to one ship left. So we might as well finish them off now. Save retreating and taking a load of extra damage that we don't need to. It's quite a big ship they've got there. It looks like it's some sort of like destroyer almost. Our astronomers are confident that the asteroid belt in this system was once a habitable planet, torn asunder by unknown forces. A special project has been issued to study one of the major asteroids in the belt. Excellent, so more stuff to do. Okay, so you are now out. And we should be able to take out that station. I don't think the station is fighting back. No, the station isn't actually doing any damage to us. Lectruck, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel and the stream. Are you doing any damage? We took a bit of energy weapon damage. You're pinging at us, but not really doing much. And that should be the station pretty much destroyed. There we go. Well, we didn't come off particularly great in all of that. So let's go ahead and send you back to Earth. We'll get you to upgrade as well. So how many did we lose? We're at 10 of 15 and we are building some more. So we should be okay. We'll get back there. We do have a research project down there that we can do now though. Do we have a ship that is around here? I would like you at some point. Oh, I've queued you up to do a lot of pointless stuff, haven't I? In fact then, just go and research the projects here and then survey the system. And unpause and go back up to speed 3.
Special project complete.
So many special projects going on right now. Reports of deep space drones in certain systems have been investigated. The drones appear to be the workers and custodians of an autonomous orbital mining operation established millennia ago and then soon abandoned by all but the drones themselves, judging by the state of the processing equipment. The drones possess powerful mining lasers and make obviously threatening, if not outright hostile, overtures towards human vessels when approached. They may only be old drones, but they should be kept under close watch by the United Nations of Earth. Establish a listening post on Earth, or let us see what they are made of, take them apart. Well, let's go for the special projects. We do like special projects, although we've got far too many of them to do. This is a timed one. This is the debris, which is the one that we're working on anyway, so that is fine. That'll take 7 months to research. Let's go ahead and do that then. Our construction ship isn't doing anything at the moment. Is there anything else that we'd like to grab? Not immediately. So we will wait a little bit on that one.
System survey complete.
Looks like our fleet is getting back together. Unlocks planetary capital. Empire leaders capacity +2. Bigger leader pool. Max influence from factions goes up. It could be quite useful, actually. So we'll go ahead with that one. What have we got going on here? Why is there some sort of... Did I miss something? Am I tracking something on a map? Is that what I'm doing here? No idea why that is pulsating green, and if anyone has the answer, please let me know, because I haven't got a clue why it's doing that.
Debris analyzed.
Analyze the debris. That gives us a load of extra stuff and quick research. That is fine. So now... No, I did queue you up to do some more stuff. You've got to survey that system now. I'm paused again. I'll stop doing that continually. We could go ahead and try and get some more science posts, which is not a bad thing to do. We've got a fairly decent income. Let's go ahead and get our construction ship, and we'll go over here and we'll get ourselves the mining station. We'll also get the research station as well.
Ships upgraded.
15 of 15, so we are at our fleet limit. I don't think at this point I'm going to go and build over that limit. We are up to plus 500 again. Mining drone work ethic. The drones and their tireless, endless work of extracting ever-diminishing resources from their local planetoids make for a somewhat dull, but nevertheless informative subject of study. In fact, mining networks on Earth could start to learn a thing or two about maximising mineral extraction rates while conserving energy. Additionally, we have found that the drones are not completely silent. They emit signal pings. They're extremely infrequent and at a wavelength hard to isolate from background noise. If there is anyone left to receive these pings, may be a mystery for another time. So we can basically give us access to Drone Optimization's Edict, or we can add a list of mineral-rich planetoids to the situation log. Well, let's get the Optimization's Edict.
Anomaly found.
It's pulsating because it's the site of the last event system survey. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much there, Githian. Anomaly. Signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization. 0% chance of failure. So again, go for that one. Always take the nice easy ones where you can. Yeah, we need to get some of these 1k ones out. So what do we want here? Reduced anomaly fail risk and increased anomaly discovery chance, or cheaper scientist recruitment cost. But we don't need to recruit any at the moment, so let's go ahead and grab this one. Planetary research, not that important. Some of these ones are nice. Leader skill levels +1. That'd be quite useful. Do we have anybody up to 5 yet? No, you're getting there. If you can get there before you die, Fernandez, that will be excellent. You are working on another anomaly. So that'll be good. Because I would like to go and do that Leviathan event if we can. We've detected the partial remains of a gas mining station in orbit around Kerbus 4, which appears to be Voltum in origin. Its station-keeping thrusters were deliberately fired millions of years ago in an attempt to push the station directly into the gas giant, but a collision with an unknown object prevented this from happening. Issue special project gas mining facility, because of course it does. Scientist has a skill 3 or higher. Now then, where is that? It's here. So, can you survey this system, then research the projects, then go off and survey these systems? Yeah, I know there's still some aliens in there that I haven't done. There's a couple, actually. Let's go and do that. Try and leave little bits of gaps in between doing them so that we do get some of the other things going. Now, can we actually colonise anywhere yet? Let's say we've got a planet that we can colonise. Alpha Centauri, for example. So this is a colonisable planet. Colonise the planet to expand the borders of our empire and gain more space. but we don't have the ability to build colony ships, or do we? Is that something you just start with now? Ah, apparently you just start with the ability to build colony ships. That is not something that I noticed. Let's go ahead and build a colony ship then. Let's get a colony done. Another thing that we want to do is stop minimizing those. Is if we can terraform planets. So, what did we have? We had Mars was terraformable. Mars is a barren world. Yeah, we don't have the ability to terraform it yet. It's worth having multiple colonies in a single system now, because one thing that they did change from the original game was that individual planets no longer count towards this. This is a number of systems now. So if you've got a system that's got 5 colonized planets in it, still only counts as 1. Energy storage capacity has increased. We've got some extra stuff we can choose from here. Mining drone lasers. Physics lab, synchronized defenses. This is rare technology. We always want to go for the rare techs when we can, I suppose. Got a science ship who is currently not busy. So what do we want to get you on at the moment? The Broken. Can we get you to research that? Looks like we can if we can get there safely. So let's go for it.
Complete.
There's the construction done. Might be nice if we could come down here. I mean, this would be an excellent planet to grab. Some nice stuff down there. Pirates encountered. Here we go. We were expecting this. We've been waiting for it. The vessels we have come across in certain systems are definitely capable of receiving and transmitting standard communication protocols. Visual indicators point to their culture being largely spaceborne, and some phenotypes observed among them match no known planet-dwelling civilizations. Unfortunately, their crews are completely uninterested in civil discourse. What little we have been able to glean from intercepting intrafleet communications indicate that they primarily subsist on piracy, occasionally recruiting fringe elements of spacefaring civilizations to their course. Deplorable. The birth of space piracy. As civilian travel in space becomes more commonplace, several powerful criminal organizations on Earth have sensed an opportunity to expand their operations. They have converted a number of civilian freighters into improvised warships, which will then raid civilian shipping lanes for booty. We know they call themselves the Fel Company, and that they operate from some kind of hidden space facility. Every effort must be made to bring these criminals to justice. I'm sure they'll find them sooner or later. I'm going to take my construction ship down here, because I think this would be an excellent place to get a frontier outpost. Looks like the pirates have just arrived. That is a very, very small fleet. So we are going to jump over there.
Special project complete.
Archaeological project completed. A mostly intact Voltum spacesuit that previous looters had somehow overlooked has been recovered by our archaeologists. This 4-metre-long tube-like construct has given scientists new insights into what kind of environments the Voltum preferred. An interesting find. Right, so let's get down here.
Mining station lost.
Yeah, they've destroyed my mining station and they are out. That's annoying. That they've just basically warped out. So we lost a mining station down here. We've still got a couple more. I might keep the fleet in orbit, just in case they decide to come back. But we don't know exactly where they are. We could go ahead and patrol around, of course. I mean, they warped out. They've got to have gone somewhere. They might have gone over here. The Glost Werheni civilization encountered. We have detected the presence of primitive alien civilization on Gem Kequesed in the Elamir system. They currently seem to be experiencing the equivalent of a renaissance, having recently left the medieval age behind them. Scientific knowledge is spreading rapidly, and armies of their petty kingdoms are equipped with crude gunpowder-based projectile weapons. We should consider building an observation post above their world to study them more closely. Maybe at some point. Aha! We've just suddenly found the pirate fleet. Looks like they're currently being engaged by the other aliens, so that's fine. The asteroid belt is actually a chunk of what was once a habitable and probably inhabited planet. Regular but overlapping fracture patterns indicate that the planetary demolition was intentional and controlled, if somewhat rushed. All signs point to this planet being the homeworld of whatever species destroyed it. We may never know what drove them to consider planetary annihilation to be the lesser evil, but perhaps we should be grateful of that. well, those guys got wiped out. Maybe you guys can go back to Earth now. We'll do the upgrades, because upgrades are always good. Construction ship, you were coming down here to get ourselves a frontier outpost. Let's work on that. Our fleet is maxed out. We've got a free science ship right now. What are you doing? Not a lot. You should be surveying systems. Anything else we want you to work on? There's some nasties there, which we could go and deal with, I suppose. Let's go and work on those. We'll go and deal with those guys if we need to later on. Do we have a rank 5 scientist yet? We do not. We've got our colony ship, though. So where do we want to colonize? We've got a couple of choices. We've got Sirius, we've got Corgus, and we've got Alpha Centauri. So Alpha Centauri, we have there's some hostile fauna, so it's increased building cost, a bit less habitability and happiness, but social output is good. Fair few tiles, there's a few blockers. So planet size is 15. Okay. So let's get out of there. Let's go and have a look at Sirius. So Sirius is... oh, that's much better, isn't it? We've got a bigger planet. It's more habitable. There's no nasty things that we need to deal with here. There are some tile blockers, of course. But I think that's the planet we need to go to. And, yeah, we'll do that. So let's go ahead and send the colony ship over here. I don't think we'll put you sort of in a midpoint. There will do. And we can keep calling it Sirius Prime. And we'll just... now we're going to lose money, of course, because we've got a colony. That is to be expected. Let's just have a quick look at this one. I don't think this one was going to be any better, but we'll check anyway. Where's the planet here? Was there a habitable planet here? Or am I looking at the wrong thing? So there wasn't one there. I was looking at the research. So that's definitely the better planet. Our construction ship, I would like you to, when you're finished, go here and rebuild the mining stations. There is an expansion planner, and it's something that was added since I last played, and I never used it. So I completely forgot about this existing. But no, you're absolutely right. This is a brilliant little thing for showing you what planets are available. And I shall try and remember to use that in the future, Githian. So thanks a lot for reminding me about that. Tucked away in the menus where it's a little bit tricky to find unless you go looking for it. And I don't think ever mentioned in the tutorials because the tutorials never got graded. Okay, so we've got negative balance. That's because of the colony. So that is something we understand. Nano composite armor. Well, that could be good for our ships. Space torpedoes could also be useful as well. Building speed. Let's go for the armor. Let's make our ships a little bit tougher if we can. Now then, we can take our fleet and we can go down and deal with... was it these guys? Yeah, some mining drones down here. Not really our problem, but if we clear them out, then we'll be able to go ahead and survey that system. Also, it gives our admiral some experience, so we'll start working on that.
System survey complete.
Hopefully get our fleet size up soon. So we've still got a surplus of food, and we're at the cap. Right, we are engaging. We want to actually go to the planet. Did I unpause? I did unpause. So what have we got over here? We have got mining drones. We want to go ahead and just get straight in. Let's just speed things up a little bit until we actually get out of our... warp recovery, and then we've got to head halfway across the solar system. So these guys, they're moving in, and of course we do have the weapon range advantage here, which really helps us out. Hopefully most of them make contact. We took a loadout in the first salvo. Still looks like we might lose a ship or two here, which will be unfortunate. One thing that I dislike on this is that there's no fleet tactics. There's no way to take a ship that is very badly damaged and move that ship to the back or move that ship out of combat Basically, the way combat works is all of your ships seem to take damage at the same time, but ones with low health just get focused down. So there's no real tactics involved in the battle other than just throwing your units at their units and hoping for the best. Well, the mining drones are all now down. The mining station still exists, so we want to go and take that out. And now we do have a special project over here. We've lost one ship. I think we can afford to go ahead and get a couple more. Hopefully we'll be able to start getting destroyers soon. And when we've got a free science vessel, we can come back over here and work on that debris, because that will be timed. So let's travel to Earth, and our first fleet can go back over here. Okay, so let's get out of there. So we'll have this one now. We probably want to get our construction ship over here when it's finished. So we'll just move you there. We can also get the extra energy credits here and here, so that'll help us out quite nicely. In fact, you should probably... No, actually, I won't add any more orders to you. Just go there first, it'll be fine. So we are still losing money. Our fleet is on its way back. We are paused, which is why nothing's happening. Let's go back up to speed 3.
System survey complete.
So you guys are still up there. We still have that non-aggression pact. It is time for the election again. Ruling from Earth. Looks like you still have the highest chance of getting in. So we'll wait on that one. The factions are all happy as well.
Anomaly found.
We can research that one. There's no risk. Our trade treaty with the Athletic Galactic League has timed out. So that was a research agreement. I wonder if it's worth going and speaking to them and seeing if we can sort of arrange something with them. Offer a trade deal. So we've already got a non-aggression pact. They wouldn't have take a defensive pact. Offer a trade deal. Would you be willing for another research agreement? They're probably going to say no. I almost forget that I'm talking to an alien when I converse with you human. Almost. Probably going to say no.
Construction complete.
Our president's reign had come to an end with their election campaign promises unfulfilled. But we've re-elected her anyway, so that's fine. Have they said yes or no? Perhaps you thought we would accept your outrageous trade offer without bothering to look at the details. We are sorry to disappoint you. So no, they weren't willing to do it. Well, that's kind of what I expected anyway, so that's fine. Colony's not taking too long, so that's okay. Swirling Shadows. Immense ragged plains of shadow drift. We've read this one before already. We've had exactly the same one, so we're already starting to get sort of repeated stuff over and over again. Right, okay. What I actually want you to do, construction ship, is... there's 3 energy here, actually. That's the best one for you to go to. So, if you wouldn't mind going here, getting me a mining station, that'll give us 3 energy credits and some terraforming gases. And then we've got some of these. Now, also, the mission given to us...
Research complete.
Let's just pause up. Orbital research mandate. Yeah, we need to start that from scratch. The debris we do need to work on. We've got another race that we haven't encountered, that we haven't researched yet. Research. So, Empire leader capacity, better leader pool size. Border range plus 20%. Always useful. Means you've got more places you can basically expand to and build. Now, we've got this science ship here. When you finish doing that, research the projects in this system, followed by surveying the system itself. Repairs are completed. System has been surveyed. Everything looking good. Colony's getting stuff done as well. Is there anything on Earth that we can upgrade? Doesn't look like there is, but we could probably do with clearing the rest of these tile blockers. Get those sorted. Construction ship has finished.
Colony established.
So let's go ahead and build these mining stations.
Special project complete. Tile blocker cleared.
And then we'll get some research stations. Why not? Now we're out of minerals again. The entities encountered by our fleet some time ago are new, wondrous forms of spaceborne life. Quickly nicknamed the Space Amoeba following an analyst's gross misreading of the initial sensor report, the creature is in fact larger than the average human corvette. We should leave it be and remotely monitor the creature and its kin from Earth. Issue a special project for remote space amoeba study, or we expect our fleets to make short work of the creature. Well, let's try and be peaceful with the aliens that are around for the time being. So we've analysed the debris. And what do we want to do with you up here now? We've still got these fleets that we'd like to deal with, but they're a little bit tricky. So let's go. That is a long way around. Let's not go that way. Survey that one. Survey that one. Looks like we're right out in the edge of the galaxy. Yes, we are. Which I suppose is good in one sense. It means we're not going to be, or we're very unlikely to be, attacked from that edge of space. Yeah, we're very much tucked up in a corner here. That's not too bad. We might have to deal with these guys, though, because they're kind of blocking me in a little bit there. That's a lot of flying our ship's going to do, but there's nothing else over in this direction we can research. We've got to come all the way down here now.
Tile blocker cleared.
So in fact, I think what I want you to do is survey that system, followed by surveying that system, and then we'll actually get you working on these systems down here, as you've got to sort of head in this direction anyway. So we've cleared a tile blocker. So can we get anywhere that actually increases our food storage? Let's get another one of these monuments then. And here we want to get a science lab, and if we can afford it, another science lab there. Brilliant. So Sirius Prime, we are going to want to, well, we can't clear these tile blockers yet, we don't have the tech for them. This wants to be a power plant, and this wants to be a basic mine. I did click on it, didn't I? Yeah, it didn't work for some reason. So construction ship has done that. We didn't have enough money to get this one, so let's go and do that. And then once you've done that, if you go ahead and build mining stations there, we'll get even more energy credits. Excellent. Nanocomposite armor is done, so that should make our ships a little bit better. Now we can get ceramo metal armor, which might not be a bad thing to work on. So go ahead and do that. Science ship, you are still 4, but you're so close. We've almost got a rank 5 scientist. We'll be able to go and do that event if they live long enough. Hopefully one of them will. Just try and keep them exploring as much as possible. Inactive building, which is fine. You're actually migrating. Migrating to Sirius Prime. We don't have anything built here either, so we're going to want a science lab. Make sure we've got no one who's unemployed. That can actually be upgraded. Let's go ahead and do it. Research. See, you weren't willing to give me a research agreement earlier when I asked for one, and now it's like it's your idea.
Complete.
I know we've got a science ship here that needs to do something. Something stirs on the moon of Sirius Prime. Preliminary scans indicate that some ancient technology has become active, possibly as a response to our colonization efforts. Several of our top scientists are eager to take a closer look at the moon and have prepared a special research project. Of course they have. Where are you? You are over here. We've got that special research project. Let's work on that. Has scientist present, scientist skill 2 or higher? Oh, that's Sirius Prime is up there. Where's our other science ship? You've gotten down here already. That was pretty quick. Okay, you can go and do it then. So, research the projects in that system. Yeah, do you know what? I'm aware of the assist research, but I never really use it simply because in the early game, I tend to always have my scout ships, my science vessels, trying to find as many potentially colonizable planets as possible. So I tend to only use the assist research later on once I've pretty much explored all of the planets that I can get to easily. But yeah, I can certainly give that a try. Sentinel point defense would be useful. But I mean, they are still getting XP quite quickly, especially when they're researching these anomalies. So it's not too terrible at the moment. That's a really nice system as well there.
Construction complete.
So are we finishing building stuff here? Population modifiers. Recent immigrant. Ah, there we go. That's fine. We probably want to get ourselves another basic power plant there. So we don't have a food surplus anymore. We're going to get to a point soon where we actually have a food deficit. So we'll have to work on that. This can be upgraded. So let's work on it. Construction ship has finished. So making a decent amount of energy credits.
Anomaly found.
Research the anomaly. Do we want to make either of these into a frontier outpost?
Project complete.
Just trying to think, would it be nice to grab... That's a lot of minerals. We don't want to have too many research frontier outposts because they are quite expensive. This could potentially be a good one as well. Try and trap these guys in the middle if I can. Construction ship, go here and get me a frontier outpost. It is a gaggle of wayward drones, of course. Initial disappointment was swept away by drones' erroneous IFF classification of us. They think we are a race that affiliated with their long-dead masters. They seem very excited. If old AI constructs can be excited to see us. Unfortunately, the drones again lapsed into inactivity shortly after, and we have been unable to resuscitate them. Or take them apart, for that matter. Keep an eye on the situation. So, science ship. So, let's go and do what you say. Let us go to Earth. And we'll do some assisting research and see if we can get Francis up high enough. Up is down. As the UNS Asimov As the UNS Asimov passed through the asteroid belt on its way to W1H012, Science Officer Fernando Mendes reported that the ship experienced a number of sudden gravitational shifts. Even ever curious, Fernando Mendes dispatched a number of probes to scan the debris field to discern the cause. It turns out that the culprit is a number of gravity generators of old alien make. Sputtering and dying energy sources while their polarity is inverted, they occasionally spew reverse gravity into the void. Though not with enough force to cause any serious harm, not anymore. Science Officer Fernando Mendes theorises that the generators once provided artificial gravity for a large asteroid in the belt, but some malfunction eventually tore the rock apart. Okay, cool. So the Gagarin is here, and we want you to go over to Earth, and, well, yes, we can upgrade you while you're there, that's not a bad thing. Oh no, I completely agree with you, Githian. I mean, this is the thing. It's like you could. So there are some of these games that you can play for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and you think you're doing it right, and then one day you just watch somebody else playing it, and you see the way they do something, and all of a sudden it dawns on you, and you're like, oh, right, now I get it. So yeah, I can completely understand that. The fleet has been upgraded. So science ship, you are going to. We can't do sys research. Requires databank uplinks. I don't have it yet. Apparently. So we need to go and do something else with you instead. So I guess we just go and keep surveying systems, I suppose. We can pick another one of these. Gain research points equal to 1/3 of our monthly gain when surveying planets. Well, that's got to be useful, right? Actually, let's go for this one, because if we get the next one, that'll give us leader skill levels increased by 1, so that'll get us where we need to. That'll be fantastic if we can pull that off. These guys are still expanding out, so we need to consider doing the same thing. We are building a frontier outpost here, so we'll kind of put the squeeze on them a little bit. We'll keep looking around to see what we can find. What have we built here? It's completed our service construction. I'm not playing it wrong, I'm just playing it my way. On Earth. So do we have anything else that we need to build? No, we're a little bit light on population. I mean, we could upgrade that, but it's a bit of a waste of money. Ancient drones awakening. The drones woke from their slumber and descended to the surface of Sirius Prime. Attempts to communicate were met with polite dismissal as they set about terraforming a small area of the planet. We do not know the nature of whatever ancient directive they are executing, but it does not seem detrimental to the colony. The drones remove a random tile blocker from the surface, leaving the planet otherwise untouched. Nice. So, which ones are they going to do? How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tile blockers. Oh, they only removed the 1. Oh, well, okay. It's better than nothing. At least it's next to the planetary administration, which we can go ahead and do that right now.
System survey complete. Anomaly found.
See, we're getting so close. Sensors pick up the rhythmic movement on the hellish surface of Aras 2. No risk, so we might as well do it. Oh, Fernando is very close to doing this. Very close indeed. Don't really need the rally points open there. So, let's go and construction ship. Do we want you to do anything else? I guess we do. I guess we want as many mining stations as we can get here. Can't quite afford all of them. We're a little bit short on... energy's not too bad. Actually, we're making a lot of minerals. Let's build the research stations first then. I mean, we still have that mandate, so we might as well do it while we're waiting for some more minerals to come in. And we can even go ahead and get minerals from here as well. So yeah, that was nice, quite a nice spot to grab. Geothermal. The measured pounding observed from orbit is the motion of immense and ancient geothermal extractors, breathing their last, built and then abandoned at some point in the distant past. The vast batteries of disintegrated machinery have been pumping up superheated fluids from the planet's core ever since. Their storage capacitors are all broken or leaking, but some energy can still be siphoned from them. Energy credits gained, 5,608. What's our cap? Is it... Oh, so 568. 6,000 cap, so that's not too bad. Asimov, what are you doing? Clearly not enough. Survey here. Survey here. Survey here.
Construction complete.
Sooner or later, one of these guys is going to get up to level 5. It's not going to be long now. Right, build the mining stations. We can actually get another ship now. Our force limit has gone up. We've detected the presence of a pre-space alien civilization on Kolkex Jakkax in the Orange system. There is evidence that they have harnessed the power of the atom, and nuclear weapons may be prolific among their many divided nation states. The possibility of a sudden self-inflicted extinction event is high. You should consider building an observation post. Survey completed. Through our surveys of habitable worlds, our biologists have collected a vast amount of data on alien life forms. Many of our older theories on the development of life have been disproved, and our scientific community has had to build new models from scratch. Our most interesting findings are being displayed at the newly dedicated Museum of Exobiology on Earth. The public is enthralled, and many donations have come in to aid the continued search of strange life forms. Nice, just gained a load of tech for basically nothing there. Yeah, I was going to go and have a quick look at this, just to see if there's anything else that we need to do. Let's go and work on that one. Now then, we are going to need to get some more food, because we're struggling a little bit here. So let's go and get some food next to the planetary administration. Let's go and build basic hydroponics right there. So that should get us out of the negatives. I mean, we're not starving because we still have a surplus, which is good. Ancient drones reaching for past skies. The old drones Fitfully dormant in Sirius Prime's moon have become active again, and their work is a mixed blessing. Under the cover of night and spotty airspace surveillance, they have erected the framework of some gigantic structure a short distance away from our primary settlement on Sirius Prime. Our engineers are convinced that it is the realization of some outmoded concept known as a space elevator, perhaps a common sight in the times before we humans first took to the stars. It will eventually have to be raised as it stands in the way of our expansion plans for the colony, and bringing it down safely would take some time. At least our engineers are giddy with excitement at the prospect of studying this thing up close. So it gives us some engineering research, added for 24 months, but we also get negative 20% minerals, which is a bit of a pain. Mutated roaches. Seems legit. Paradox do have a sense of humour, I'll give them that. You know, some of the stuff that they put into their games is hilarious. The space amoebas, the nickname now lovingly popularised on Earth, are solitary animals left to their own devices. All but the youngest specimens are accompanied by quasi-independent organisms dubbed flagella, seemingly spawned by the amoeba and programmed through liquid. RNA-laced secretions to do the bidding of the host. Initially assumed to be the young space amoebas, the flagella do not seem to factor into any reproductive mechanics, each individual flagellum instead operating solely as a disconnected limb from the host amoeba. These flagella are capable of manipulating and even attacking objects in an impressive yet restricted range around the host, periodically returning to lodge inside the host amoeba's body for reprogramming. There are potential military applications of the graceful patterns of circulation apparent in the flagella's movement. Cosmic ray catalyst modifier added, giving the following effects: energy credits plus 5%. Very nice. Right, scientists. Oh, Fernando, you're so close. As soon as Fernando's finished whatever he's doing now, he's probably going to level. And he has. He's level 5. We've got a new tech here. That's increased our border range. Excellent. Increase our naval capacity by 10%. Yes, please. Inactive buildings. Might as well... Well, we're going to have an inactive building kind of wherever you are, really. We'll grow to them. We've got people sort of migrating around, but that's fine. So, I assume you are in the middle of surveying a something. No, you're going somewhere else. You've surveyed that system. So, yes, before you trek all the way over there, we are going to go and research the projects in this system. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this event line concluded or progressed or whatever else it is that we need to do.
System survey complete.
We've still got another ship surveying the system. Right, how are we getting on with food? We've got no population on this one, so let's move you in. We're now gaining positive food again, and we can actually upgrade that, so let's do it. Let's upgrade all of those buildings. Yeah, we've got that minus 20% here because of the space elevator. We don't have an awful lot of gems, minerals. I don't know why I keep calling them gems. But what I do have, I would very much like to get another Corvette, which is going to be 108 now, so... although we can actually just now afford that. We should also probably consider getting something like... sensor range, physics output. Do we need the energy credits? No, let's go ahead and get the extra tech. Spontaneous generosity. After waking yet again, the drones briefly disappeared from the sensors. When they returned, it was with a large cache of minerals of unknown origin in tow. They dumped it on the surface of Sirius Prime after sending a badly corrupted burst transmission indicating that they had fulfilled a requisition request. Then they went back to the moon. Free minerals, no complaints. So Sirius 3A gets plus 3 minerals.
Research complete.
There's a Sirius 3A? Right, hang on. This is Sirius 1. This is Sirius Prime. This is Sirius 2. It's got to be in this orbit there, isn't it? There, it's the moon. Well, I don't see any minerals there on the moon. So, no idea. Completed a research. That's increased our naval capacity once more. Biolab or the hydroponic farms? Let's go for the hydroponic farms, and here we will have... Let's get the space torpedoes, you never know. So we can have another ship. We can afford to get another ship. Let's go ahead and get another ship. They're probably all going to need upgrading. Found another anomaly already. A large amount of ship debris can be found in orbit around this moon, possibly the remains of some kind of massive fleet action. We'll research it. Well, we are here. We're working on it. This is the sort of primitives. Not too sure if we will deal with anything there. Our border expansion was quite nice. Signs of battle. There is clear evidence that a massive space battle took place in close orbit of Ferragon 4 Alpha at some point in the last 5,000 years. The surface on one side of the moon is pockmarked with craters from stray weapon blasts, and scans from the UNS Gagarin have picked up several hulks on the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all after the damage means they must have sustained is a testament to their advanced design. Science Officer Francis Jones is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict hulls for any valuable technologies. Mount Graveyard Expedition. Well, you can do it, so research it as soon as you finish working on that system. It's new spaceport. Thank you very much. Can't afford it yet, but as soon as I can, I'll build a spaceport on the new planet. Physics lab, colony deployment speed, colony shipbuild cost, basic combat roles on mining drone laser. We've already got some research to the mining drone laser. Let's go and work on that. There's some ports as well, that'll help. At least we're getting minerals fairly quickly now. So that's a good thing. We'll also be getting some more energy credits here as well. So how much was it we needed? 360. So like one more month. Ancient drones, an estranged relative. Frantic signal bursts from the moons alerted us to the fact that the old drones on the planet have awoken yet again. This time they bring us a significant prize, as they have unearthed an ancient satellite from the depths of their moon and partially repaired it. We do not know how the satellite ended up there, nor why the drones have ignored it until now. Regardless, if even a fragment of the databanks have survived, there is a lot we can learn about the day-to-day life in the empires that the drones first served. So, +3 tech. Come on, 360, we're so close to being there. And we've got it. So, let's go ahead and take the defense module. So, do we actually have anything? Yeah, it didn't put the minerals on the planet, but it did actually go ahead and put the science station there.
Construction complete.
So, with that in mind, construction ship, when you have finished, can you get over there and build a research station?
Special project complete.
We still haven't done that one yet. The team under Science Officer Francis Jones has finished their expedition on Ferragon 4 Alpha and returned to the USS Gagarin. Thankfully, the Starship Graveyard on the surface proved to be a technological treasure trove. Studying the remains of these vessels has advanced our research in certain fields by several years, and there are yet things to discover. A permanent science outpost in orbit would be a good boon to our Starship engineering efforts. Maybe. What else do we want to do with you? Where are you? Yeah, I know you... Oh, we want to zoom out. There we go. So let's go ahead now and just get you surveying a few more systems. Because there's lots to do. Orbital hydroponic farms. Planetary capitals. That could be useful. Crew quarters, engineering bay. Let's go for the planetary capitals if we can get that. Anything else that we need to build on the surface of Earth or upgrade? We could do with a little bit more population. I think a lot of people have been moving off to Sirius Prime, which is not amazingly good for us. We can go ahead and upgrade that, so let's go ahead and do it. We've got the minerals too. And do we need to upgrade our fleet? 186. We probably will upgrade them. Getting a few like level 5 scientists now. Yeah, this thing is taking its time, but it is doing something. Orbital research mandate, we only need to build one more. We've got it queued up, then that will be done. We still need a couple more Vultum artifacts. And we still need to do a couple more of the mass extinction ones. So we are starting to get rid of some of these things. One thing I have noticed, and I assume... Oh wow, we're actually capped out on influence here. I don't think that ever happens. So we could probably put some edicts in. Possibly. Right, so let's go have a look at policies and edicts. So what could we use? Growth ethics. Research speed goes up. Extra minerals. Do you know what? We can do that for a little bit. We're already at the cap, so we might as well spend it to get some extra minerals, because we're not at the minerals cap, so let's go ahead and do that. Ancient drones drone debacle. The erratic behaviour of the narcoleptic drones has taken a violent turn. A number of them woke and entered the atmosphere of Sirius Prime, as is their wont, only to slam into the surface of the planet at full thrust, repeatedly in many cases. Damage to the colony was negligible, but 9 vulnerable drones were destroyed in bright showers of blue sparks, indicative of the tremendous force and dedication to their self-destruction. Can we find out what was wrong with them? Certainly interesting. Yeah, what I was going to say, I don't know whether this is something that changed in Leviathans. I've got a feeling it probably was. But in original, like vanilla Stellaris, you were constantly running into mining drones and amoebas and things you could destroy. Like every second system you went to had extra stuff you could shoot at that just aren't here now. Let's go ahead and get the 2 more corvettes. As per President Dolores' mandate, additional research structures have been built, which is complete waste of time because we just give us 250 influence and we were already at the cap. So, never mind. We could start a 3rd colony, you know, we can afford to. There's only one planet we can actually colonise, really, which is Alpha Centauri. Let's have a quick look at the expansion planner. Prophet's Retreat. Where did we find that? It's a holy world. It's considered sacred by a nearby fallen empire. Colonizing it will anger them greatly. Yeah, I bet it will. Where's that? There's a fallen empire? I thought we couldn't get any further up that way. We kind of tried. I think we've got to go for it, haven't we? Let's, yeah, I say, well, I don't know how... We'll keep that as a marker, because it might be useful. But where is the Empire? Where are my science ships? We'll wait till one of them's free. Probably once,
Research complete.
once Fernando's free, because I don't... If there's a fallen Empire, it's got to be up here somewhere. But I don't know how close they can get. What do we want here? Afterburners... Plasma thrusters, projectile defense modules. Get the cheap one, the cheap quick one. The surviving drones have been missing since the suicide incident. History buffs on Sirius Prime are convinced that the drones are still in close proximity, shielded from prying eyes by some lost technology. But the expected time window for their next activation has come and gone. Progress on deep analysis of destroyed drones' remains has been slow, but a breakthrough is expected soon. Okay, keep me posted. Construction ship is not doing much. If we can get you over here to build mining stations, though, that'll be useful for us.
Anomaly found.
No risk, so we'll research that. I didn't even realise we'd spotted that holy world, to be honest. It just sort of came out of nowhere. We've already... There's... yeah, Alpha Centauri is like the next best one that we could get. There are some that are not quite as good. Alpha Centauri does have a decent amount of food, though, which is nice. We're currently sort of breaking even on food at the moment. I think we'll leave it. We don't have a surplus of food at the moment, and we haven't hit our pop cap on both of our planets. And I am very, very interested to try and find out where that fallen empire is. I just dismissed that one because it's the same thing that we've seen time and time again. Re-elected our previous ruler. I'm good with that. And we get another one of these. Not sure if I necessarily want to grab this now. I mean, we can't do our resist research yet. Maybe we want to do this. Frontier outpost upkeep reduction. That'd be nice. Or pop growth time reduced by 10%. Colony development speed increased by 50%. Both of these could be useful. Let's reduce our frontier outpost upkeep. We do have 2 of them. Yeah, well, I've always known that the Fallen Empires are dangerous, and I know that, I think it was in Leviathans, wasn't it, where they actually made it so that there were certain things that would tick the Fallen Empires off, but in previous games that I played, I never actually managed to get the Fallen Empires to actually hate me. They never really seemed to care all that much. I guess what we could do is we could go ahead and get another frontier outpost up here somewhere in the area. Maybe here. Let's go ahead and get a frontier outpost there. That's probably enough to grab all 4 of those systems. Sorting out the errant innards of the shattered drones took much longer than anticipated, as each drone seemed to have been built from a slightly different design, assembled from slightly different parts. Once this fact was established, one thing stood out. The parts that were identical, separated from the rest. It is clear that these parts are of somewhat modern, if alien, make. It is likely that someone has done what we could not, and tampered with the drones. This warrants further investigation. Certainly does. So close to finishing that Infinity Machine event now. So our fleet power is still up to 725. It's still not all that much. We can upgrade.
Ships upgraded.
Still 725. So again, I know I could go in and mess around and actually do the manual upgrading of ships. And there are points of the game where that really does help, because having the right type of defenses and the right type of weapons really makes it a lot easier, but it's not something that I generally fiddle around with all that much. Yeah, there's really no point doing that right now. So I guess we just wait on. Hopefully this event will complete soon. Construction ship is now on the move up here, getting our next outpost. We've got positive food again. We're almost at the energy credits cap. So we could actually go over the fleet limit. Do we want to build anything on Sirius Prime? Because we've got some places here that don't actually have anything on them at all. So we're missing research stations, and let's go ahead and put another research station there. You can get upgraded. So let's do that.
Special project complete.
Ah, here we go. This is what we have been waiting for. It is done. It is done. Yeah, I know that once the borders grow big enough, you can dump the frontier outposts. Somehow we've sold it. You helped. The organic nature of things eluded us. The answer lied behind us this whole time. Of course, thank you, little ones. The universe is vast, yet so small. But now we see it all in its simple glory. It's lovely. Now that we have calculated infinity, there is but one thing we can do now. We can show you the truth. Farewell, young ones. Glad we could help. Right, let's see what's going to happen from there. I've got a feeling it could be something good, it could be something bad. Trion, hi, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Having pieced them together, the foreign objects inside the destroyed drones have been identified by our experts as one-way transmitters. Since they are not sent to receive, it is safe to assume that the drones were not acting at the behest of some third party, rather some entity has been keeping tabs on the drones' activities. It is advisable to look into this matter, so a special project has been prepared. Marvellous. Though I'm not seeing that special project. So, okay. We have finished some research. Tile blockers for dense jungle. Yes, that could be useful. I think we actually have got some of those on a planet somewhere, so we'll do that. The Asimov has now finished what it was doing. So, let's get you... Yeah, so if we want to survey up here, we've got to go, like, all the way around. So, if there is a fallen empire up here, it must be literally all the way around there. But there again, depending on their technology, it might be easier for them to get to us. The Infinity Machine disappears into the Gargantua, the thing that it studied for so long. As it passes the event horizon, the black hole begins to fluctuate. It takes in less light, and swirls of matter being sucked into it slow down. In an instant, it lets out more light than any sun and starts radiating matter back into the universe. The black hole shrinks, unfitting of its name. We now dub it Pantagruel, causing the dilation to become even stronger around it. Within the Pantagruel, one can gaze into a mirror universe, the other end of the black hole. Just beginning. The Infinity Machine has shown us the truth. The black holes are wombs, and the universe is their offspring. Studying this mirror universe is bound to teach us much about the one we live in, learning from other beings. So it gives us plus 10 to all of the sciences and plus 10 research speed. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. That is amazing. Well, that was well worth the effort there, wasn't it? Look at that. Brilliant. A new faction has recently popped up. What's the issue with you guys? So, you don't like... affects faction hopeless. Adopting any traditions emphasizing prosperity will please the business analysis fed. Right, so what we want to do at some point, if we want to keep those happy, is we would want to go and grab something in here, and that'll keep them happy. We have new research, defense stations, engineering facility, mineral storage. We're not capped yet. Spaceport level 2 can be useful though. Well, that was a nice little event chain. I'm fairly happy with how that one worked out. There's another research done. That's the mining drone lasers. Yeah, we can get that assist research now. Energy storage capacity. That is something that we do need because we keep getting close to the cap with that one. Okay, can we upgrade the fleet again? Yes, I can. Of course we can. And of course we can get ourselves an additional Corvette as well. Oh dear, Fernando. Well, you might have died, Fernando, but you did such an amazing job. You did such an amazing job for us that you'll never be forgotten. Someone with a bit of extra survey speed. You will certainly do. You are kind of like over here now, and we want you to... Where were we sending you? You were going up here, weren't you? So survey these systems up here for us. Probably find where that...
Construction complete.
Yeah, I've never seen that event before. That is a lot of science. That is a lot of science. That's really going to bump things up for us. Fantastic getting that. I love it. Inactive buildings. We can upgrade the planetary administration, so let's do that. Ah, we've finally met Holy Guardians. There we go. We've found them now. Another child. Know that we are the Mekonas Watchers, the chosen people of this galaxy. Respect our holy places, and we may refrain from annihilating you. We are delighted to meet you. We're delighted, but we're a little bit scared. Yet they're all the way up there, so... If we were to grab this planet, it would be a little bit risky. If we go ahead and actually have a look at them, we can see that their power is overwhelming. They're dismissive of us. They do have a good opinion of us. Can we get anything with them? What's this here? Has closed borders to United Nations. Will they be willing to do anything? Oh, that's not what I wanted to click on. Star charts. They would accept us giving them star charts. Would they give us star charts? No. It's hardly worth it, but sure, let's go ahead and give them some star charts. We may grab that at some point. A fine gift. You have our thanks. Good. Wasn't an awful lot, but, you know, it might help. Construction ship has finished. So the opinion of us is still only plus 10.
Research complete.
We have 4 colonies. I was trying to look at their planet there, but it wouldn't let me zoom in. There we go. Do they have some sort of magical world thing? Yeah, we can't see it. I guess we could... No, we've got closed borders, so we can't even go and have a look inside. That's a bit of a shame. Okay, ancient drones schemes revealed. We have found the remaining drones drifting into orbit around planet. Doesn't say which planet. We have learned that they are unwitting pawns in an elaborate scheme set up by an unknown faction. Going by the modus operandi of this operation, the faction is most likely a particularly old and particularly clever pirate syndicate. They must have found the drones drifting through space and done what they could, modified them. While not as impressive as it sounds, all they did was introduce self-contained alien technology into the drones. Fact remains that these alien pirates possess a technological know-how far in advance of our own, at least in certain areas. Having installed their comms devices in the drones, the pirates let them drift through space again, knowing that they are set to assist their original masters' colonists, and that the drone's ability to accurately identify such colonists has degraded with age. The drones have essentially been fattening up our colony as the pirates watch, waiting for the ideal time to strike. Our military analysis predict that the pirates will strike within the next 2 years. Let them come. Capture the drones, send them to destroy their would-be masters, or we cannot let this happen again, dismantle the drones. Let's capture the drones. Get an event for doing that. We have captured the drones and fitted them with explosive charges. Reprogramming them proved to be a relatively easy task now that we know how to break them open. And we have plotted a course for the estimated location of the pirate fleet. Top human scientists have implemented our own IFF technology to minimise the risk of drones attacking innocents. Yeah, well, I think we probably know how that one's going to work out, don't we? Now, this one actually was close enough to grab this, but not these two, unfortunately. But that's fine. While we've got our construction ship here, let's go ahead and build the mining stations. We'll get that observation post as well. And we'll go ahead and get the mining stations here. And I don't think we need the research outpost, actually. Given the fact that we're getting so much tech from this thing here, it's hardly worth it. But we'll go up there and we'll see what we can find. That's increased our energy storage capacity. Barrier point defense could be useful. Cheaper war demands or cheaper army upkeep. We haven't even looked at sort of building up our army at the moment. So our fleet now has a power of 724. It's still not great. That's still a very, very small fleet. And there's all sorts of stuff going on here. Technology researched. So that is done. Mineral storage capacity, afterburners or coil guns. Let's go for the coil guns there. One of our scientists has died. That is you. Okay, Hung Hung, thanks a lot for dropping around. It'll be on the channel within the next day or two anyway. Yeah, and it's nice getting that. That was a really, really good amount of science. That was brilliant. I assume the outcome is random. Let's recruit somebody new. You're good at computing. Sure, let's get you in on that action there. So a leader has died. We know we've got some buildings that are inactive, but that is fine. We've encountered some other form of random aliens. So we can research that in a single month. You are down here.
Special project complete.
After successfully translating their language, We've established communications with the independent space station of the Curator Alpha Enclave. Interesting. So who are you guys? Greetings, Star Travellers. We are the Curators. Our ancient order was established eons ago by the various galactic powers in ascendancy at the time. We were dedicated towards the preservation of all knowledge in an effort to safeguard the galaxy from descending into yet another dark age of mass extinctions and barbarism. We failed. Few of us remain today, but we are no less committed to our sacred mission than our predecessors were. We are willing to share some of our knowledge with you for a price. Well met.
Complete.
Okay, so before I do anything else, do we even know where you guys are? Can't see you on the map anywhere, so not a clue. We've got this ship here. Let's get you going out and surveying some of these other systems, because we've got quite a lot of them around. We know we've got some hostiles and stuff as well, but... let's make you go around in a bit of a circle there. Okay, Githian, obviously you're familiar with that event. Is that a Leviathan's thing, or is that something to do with... where do I even find those guys? Are they just under my contacts? Who were they? These guys. Oh, they have, like, no power. Communicate. We're interested in procuring new star charts. Can you aid us in our research? Tell us about the mysteries of the universe. Right, I'm with you. I'm running all of the mods. No mods, but I'm running all of the DLC to date. So, Leviathans, Utopia, and the minor DLCs, which were just like all the cosmetic bits and pieces. Plus, obviously, all of the patches up to and including the Banks patch, which is the new one coming out tomorrow. Can you aid us in our research? Of course, we are prepared to offer you limited access to our extensive databanks for a period of 10 standard years. This should provide a significant boost to the research efforts of your scientists. We will require compensation for this service naturally, but I think you'll find that our prices are very reasonable. We'd like to purchase this service. So 15% Physics Society and Engineering output for 10 years for 1,000 energy credits. And it increases their opinion. Sure, we'll go ahead and do it. And what about star charts? What does Mysteries of the Universe give us? There are exceedingly powerful entities lurking within certain star systems in our galaxy. At great cost in both lives and resources, Curator agents have painstakingly gathered the knowledge that should make these beings easier to deal with the next time you encounter them. Tell us something we don't know.
Situation log updated.
Right, now we've got a situation that might... So what does that give us there, then? Mysteries of the Universe, point of interest. We bought the coordinates from the Curators. Allegedly there is something of interest in this area. Checking it on the map, but I still can't see it. Oh, wow, all the way over there. Yeah. So, okay, finally then. How much will it cost for star charts and how much do we get from them? New star charts. We can offer you detailed, up-to-date survey data for star systems you have yet to explore. How many systems are you interested in? That's a lot of money. We'll leave it for now, because at the moment, we are happily exploring away.
Anomaly found.
So is that where those guys are there, then?
Complete. Anomaly found. Situation log updated.
So they're just a station, are they? Yeah, there they are. Pretty sure that this was a storyline from Star Trek Voyager as well. There is an anomaly there, though, which we might find. We've encountered some form of aliens. We'll investigate them. We can research... I assume it's that you're going to be researching. There's little, like, debris clouds around here. Obviously, something's been going on.
Research complete.
Okay. Science officer has issued a report indicating that they are none too pleased with having been ordered to study where they have found nothing of interest. Well, that's your own fault for being useless. What have we got here? Toxic kelp tile blockers. Again, always useful to get as many of the tile blockers done as possible. Okay, just a quick note. It's coming up to 4 PM my time, so I will be ending the stream shortly. Been going for it's about 2.5 hours now, but it will be uploaded on to the site. Now, I'll probably continue this again another day. Space amoebas, yeah, we probably don't want to be dealing with those guys directly. So we'll just sort of keep looking around. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with what I've seen so far of the Banks patch and Utopia. I do really like this idea of the traditions. I'm interested to see how this global food thing is going to work out. The factions is an interesting new development as well. Obviously, some of the events that I'm seeing are events from Leviathans, so I haven't been able, because I didn't really play the game when Leviathans came out. I'm sort of experiencing both of these things at the same time, so I can't really discern one from the other right now. But I certainly think that Paradox are moving in the right direction with the changes and additions that they are making to it. It's certainly been a fun experience, and I actually look forward to playing more Stellaris in the future. So thanks a lot for watching. To those of you who are new to the channel, and if there's any people watching who are new and haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. Have a look around. I've been making videos for nearly 5 years now, so there's quite a lot of stuff there, mostly strategy based, but there's all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. And I put new videos up every single day, so there's always something to watch. I'll see you guys next time. When I decide I'm going to stream this again, I will hopefully put a notice up on the channel a day or two in advance, so hopefully you'll have some warning when it is going to happen. And I will do my best, Githian, to avoid playing it wrong in the future. That's assuming that I had the first clue of what I was doing. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and until then, goodbye for now.